All right. What up out there? Another episode of the Pro Say Argument coming to you poolside. I thought I'd get out today, get a little swim, relax, take it easy. Dealing with this employment discrimination, it can be very stressful. Every day is a constant reminder of the injury, of the humiliation, of the trauma. And it's like you realize that this whole game is rigged. It's virtually what's the word I want to use? They even have a word for it. What I want to say is that the game is always going to be rigged in the favor of Caucasians. That's all I can say. Caucasians and Asians and anyone who's not African American. The game is always going to be rigged in their favor. And you see it time and time again. So this is part 3 of they did not want an African American supervisor. All right. So, as you know, I'm doing a employment discrimination, employment retaliation claim against a former employer. And you would think like, okay, they're going to say their side. Usually they stick to it. Recently though, I'm beginning to learn new things, more and more new things, right? That's why I say like you got to be able to be super duper objective, or else it's not going to work for you. And you only get, I realize that the only way you get that objectivity is when you give it some time. You step back and you give it some time. Once those, once your anger, brain synapses die down, and you can really look at things with better clarity. I actually enjoy looking at information early in the morning, like around 4:30, between 4:30 and 5:45 is when I really like to look at information, because you're just waking up, your brain is well rested, it's not disturbed, it's able to focus. It's when you use the most capacity of your brain at that time in the morning. It's called the God hour. Look it up. So as I was reviewing everything, I realized some additional blunders on the part of the employer. And that's what I mean. And I think that this company is very powerful. They're very big. They got a lot of fingers in a lot of people's pockets. And so it's very hard to think that you're being treated fair. The larger the company, the least likely you're being treated fair, And this company is here on a $5 billion contract from the state of Hawaii. So they know who to call. They know who to call to get on their side, to get out in front of things. And I'm not going to divulge all the things that we found, but let's just say that it's very, very damning. Now, I did the unemployment claim, where they really messed up, where the employer really messed up, where the unemployment department messed up, was that they allowed the employer to withhold material evidence, mainly that they secretly attempted, I should have said it like this, they secretly desired or initiated my termination on November 21st, 2023. That's their story. That's the employer's story. That's what they told the EEOC. That there's no retaliation here because we were already going to terminate him. Fast forward almost a year later, we get to the unemployment appeals investigation. They don't even mention that. We get to the unemployment appeals hearing. They're like, we can't confirm that happened. Their words, not mine. The words of their witness, not mine, as you see in the video clip. So, that is saying that didn't exist, that didn't happen. But like I said, in focusing on what they're giving you, you have to evaluate it properly and make sure it's not a soft lob. they like to give you soft lobs. Soft lobs are like, things that they will expect you to run after and chase like a dog, and it goes nowhere and it only hurts you. So we're not going to chase that. We're not going to chase that, because if we just follow our own timeline, because really we didn't know about this at the time we were doing these things, right? So that's one thing that works against them. Believe it or not, there are cases where they can say, I did these things in order to preserve my employment because I knew I was going to be terminated, which usually happens if you've been written up. But they never ripped me up. So all my actions, all my protected activities were genuine. So applying for ADA accommodations, that was genuine. Didn't know that after that they recommended me for termination of employment. I didn't know that. So I'm going on like normal, right? Then I filed an employment discrimination complaint. I still didn't know that they were in the process of terminating my employment. Now, up to me filing an employment discrimination complaint, there's no mention of any investigation. I don't know what took them so long, but there's no mention of any investigation. This is almost like a week later. This is like 9 days later. No mention of an investigation. As soon as they get my employment discrimination complaint, there's an investigation, and I'm suspended. Just suspended. So they removed me from the workplace. They didn't remove the person I'm accusing, who is Brooke Fisher. They didn't remove her. By the way, she works at the Department of Justice, which is insane, because she's I suspect that she is a discriminator, and those are my allegations against her. And so she is a EEO complaint waiting to happen. She's any hour or minutes away from someone saying she discriminated against them inside the Department of Justice, if they haven't done so already, because that's who she is. That's her trait. That's her trait. These are traits, okay? These people just don't have these things. Listen, I am an exceptional man. I'm an even more exceptional employee, and I got way more years of experience than her. Way more years of experience. That's the other funny thing. They tried to say I didn't have any experience, blah, blah, blah. I got way more years of experience than her. They chose not to talk to me before assigning her the role of project manager. They chose to talk to her first. Why? Because she's a Caucasian woman. That's why. Where are all the African-American male supervisors at? Where are all the African-American men who are supervisors at? When you find one, you tell them to check in, like, subscribe, raise your hand in the comments below. We need more of that, So, I should really be going after Tracy Thompson, but that might not even be worth it, because, again, like I said, they haven't actually told me who recommended me for termination. And that's what I mean. They want to make you go down one road, so later they say, well, that's not even the person who recommended them for termination. So you got to be careful with these things. You got to be really careful. They're playing their games, and I have to play mine. But know that the employer is always going to lie. They are always going to lie. It's in their nature. That's my nephew in the jacuzzi in the background. They are always going to lie. It's in their nature, okay? They have no other recourse to lie. It's too hard to just say they terminated me. That's basically what they told the state of Hawaii so far. No, we didn't terminate him. But they did terminate me. It was predetermined. They were bringing me back. At best, they claim they were bringing me back. And they don't know if it was to be discharged or not, but they were bringing me back. I'm like, man, how do you go from a step 4 to a suspension is usually how this works, and HR knows this. When a suspension is lifted, that means you never had grounds to suspend me in the first place, which definitely means you never had grounds to terminate me in the first place. But you did. And you're trying to evade a retaliation complaint, which you can't. Because the only thing for you to do is to take no action against me. And that's why this is important. Because, see, normally, believe it or not, this does happen. There are cases out there where the person knows they're about to be terminated, and so they go and file a type of internal discrimination complaint, knowing that nothing will happen to them. And that's normally how it goes. But in this case, I didn't know any of that. And these guys wanted me terminated anyway for talking back to white people. That's it. No other reason. And you know how we know there's another reason? Because they don't have me on any progressive discipline. Their third mistake, no write-ups at all. So basically, they went on a fishing expedition. If they did any type of investigation, which we know they didn't, that's why they want to keep everything from being documented, and they want to talk to you like this. But I don't never talk like this. This doesn't do anything. You got to write it down and write, and I got to see everything else you put in and write in, except the things that are going to help me. So fuck you. You know what I mean? So what are we gonna do right now? What are we doing right now? What are we working on? Well, we got the reality show coming. I'm gonna be dropping episode 1. I'm still working on it, editing, but I had to take a break. I'm feeling really melancholy lately. I'm feeling really depressed, you know, and just a little bit disassociated, because it's like I can't explain anything any more simpler than it already is, but they act like they're fucking stupid. I'm talking about the unemployment division, the appeals officer. They act like they're fucking stupid. I can't explain things any more simple than it already is. No one go and see, one thing you don't want to do is show your hand. So I really couldn't be as direct as I wanted to be, because even though I'm an amateur, I didn't want to come off as an amateur. So I couldn't be as direct as I wanted to be, because you just assume it's applied. But the thing is, a step 4 is it. A step 4 is termination. That's the story they're selling. Now they're saying I went down from a step 4 to a suspension, which means they never had the step 4 in the first place, which means that's called a false report, which means Tracy Thompson was supposed to be terminated for making a false report against me with no evidence, okay? And we're going to watch a video later about depositions. I can't wait till I depose these people. I can't wait. I dream about that at night. It gives me wet dreams. That's what I dream about at night, deposing them. Wet dreams. I might call that episode Wet Dreams, because that's what it is to me, man. But they gotta do a lot of things. And the way that it looks right now is they're out to lunch. They're like Donald Trump was last night. They're out to lunch. They ain't coming back from lunch yet. They out to lunch, because if they don't understand about depositions, and the deposition is videotaped, and I'm going to put it on YouTube or some type of social media, they're going to be lying again. Matter of fact, what we're doing right now is going to really jam them up, because lying at the appeals hearing, lying at the unemployment appeals hearing is one thing. Lying in Hawaii Circuit Court is a whole nother thing. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be petitioning the Circuit Court of Hawaii to overturn the appeals officer's decision, or bring it back to them to re-decide it. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Because it doesn't make any sense. There's no way I went from a suspension and I went all the way back down to nothing. And, you know, you're going to hear the audio in a minute. I'm going to put all the audio out there. You're going to hear the conversations between me and the employer's witness. And it was crazy. She's like half a witness. Oh, I don't know what they were going to do. They wanted to talk to you. Talk to me about what? It's not written down? What they wanted to talk to me about is not written down? You can't answer that question? What findings? What are the findings? And so after committing all these violations, I was being returned to work like nothing happened? And of course, again, you didn't get a yes. You got a no. They just wanted to meet with you to talk about the findings. They just wanted to meet with you to talk about the findings. And so I realized that there may have been a miscommunication about what they wanted to talk about. I think they wanted to talk about my discrimination complaint findings, which doesn't require me to show up for any reason. It's not work related. So that's what I think they actually, yeah, that's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I'm missing, but we're going to see in a minute. Everything's going to be divulged. They're on LinkedIn right now, stalking me. They're on LinkedIn right now, searching and stalking me. I'm going to show you guys that. It's so funny. You can see who views your profile, and Tidal Basin has viewed my profile quite a lot lately. So anyway, it's a beautiful evening. I'm about to make some dinner on that grill. I'm about to relax, go hit the pool with my nephew. Just take it easy, man. It's hard to stay motivated and maintain morale, but you gotta just tough it out. I actually was over this, and then I found myself needing unemployment benefits, and then I said, let me go and do that, and then all this stuff just keeps coming back up to the surface, and it's like, man, they are really lying. They are really, really lying. So we're going to go through the whole process of the judicial review, which they probably didn't think I was going to do, but I guarantee you, once I serve them with the judicial review petition, watch how quick I get qualified again for benefits, for unemployment benefits. Watch how quick things change. Because I don't think they want to go in front of the state circuit court of Hawaii and tell one little lie or one little indiscretionary mistruth. I don't think they want to do that. So, all right, guys, this is all I got for today. This is part 3. Look for the reality show dropping soon, the first episode today, tomorrow. And make sure you subscribe to my Substack. But if you're watching this, you already subscribed and you purchased. So I want to say thank you and have a good evening. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, or leave a comment about your thoughts. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.